Happy Saturday, good people. Double Innocence with your boy E-Dub here. Gem dropper, showstopper. Now, in case I didn't get the opportunity to reach out and touch some of you people, I want to wish you guys again happy holidays. I hope you guys had yourself a very, very Merry Christmas. I hope you enjoyed it. Spent it with loved ones. Got a lot of gifts. And got to eat a lot of good food. So now, allegedly, apparently, the proclaimed king, had noticed that, and I'm presuming he had to have noticed it, that the viewership seems to be sinking in the NBA. Why do I say that he had to have noticed it? Because apparently, allegedly, he made some sort of a comment saying that he loves the NFL, but Christmas Day belongs to the NBA. Now, for me, I find that a little bit funny because of the mere fact of the matter that the reason why the viewership is suffering as much as he is, not just on Christmas Day, but throughout the entire season, a lot of it is on you. Unfortunately. And as a kid growing up, I mean, I was always made to understand that Commissioner David Stern was an a-hole. Wasn't a very nice person. You know, if he liked and respect you, he liked and respect you. But if he didn't like you, it was just a known fact. And he was an individual that really didn't care about what people thought about him or thought about his decisions. It was going to be the way it was going to be, and that's the way it was going to be. So as a kid hearing this persona of this individual, you're gonna grow up with a little bit of a distaste in your mouth for such an individual every time, which is one of the main reasons why whenever it came to NBA drafts and stuff like that, he used to get booed out of every single stadium, no matter where they had it. I'm sure at some point in time, they had it in his own personal hometown where he was born. He was booed there too. But to be able to witness his error, how the NBA was run under his reign, and to see the changing of dynamics now, because I could honestly tell you, if by chance David Stern was the commissioner of this league, 85 to 90% of the nonsense you see taking place right now would not be taking place. LeBron James would not be able to have an agency where he is signing players playing in this league. Why? Because of the mere fact of the matter that David Stern would have never given one individual that much control and that much power over his league. David Stern would have never allowed the All-Star game to be turned into a Tom and Jerry show, where you're having the former president come out and say he will never watch another All-Star game again until they decide to get their act together, because teams are scoring almost 300 points in one game. He would have never been part of that. He would have never signed off on anything like that. David Stern would have never allowed LeBron James to have as much control as he has. Because unfortunately, The one thing that David Stern refused to do was turn the league over to the players. Remember? Under David Stern's regime, players had to show up to games in suits and ties. Yes, okay, fine. He did get that idea from Isaiah Thomas. But the mere fact of the matter is it was something that was enforced. Why? Because he took this league as a business. And that's how he was pushing it. So he wasn't going to allow it to be disrespected by people showing up in pajama bottom pants, showing up in whatever they felt like showing up in. No. Now, did he go a little bit too far with his decision making or his handling? That's up for debate. And at one point in time, I would have been probably one of the people that would have said, yeah, he went way too far. But to be able to see the changing of the guards and see what it is now, if somebody was to ask me that question today, I would have to give a mature, honest opinion and say, no, he didn't go too far. He did what he felt necessary to keep control of the league that he was commissioner of. Now, moving forward to the NBA that we see today. We know that there's an individual appointed as a commissioner. But does it really feel that he's running this league? Or does it feel like he's a commissioner that relies on his star face of the league along with other superstars? He allows them to give their opinions on what they feel would better the game, and then he pushes that agenda. So once again, I have to ask that question. Does it seem like the commissioner that you have today, besides the name commissioner, does it really feel like he has any kind of authority to make any kind of major league decisions? And if so, somebody in the chat, somebody please let me know. What was the last major league decision that he made that went against what the face of the league may have wanted or may have liked? I mean, the All-Star game was changed because of who? It wasn't changed because that's what the commissioner wants to do. Players able to change different teams because of the simple fact of the matter that they may not like the particular situation that they're in for whatever reason it may be. The James Harden of the world, the Kevin Durant's of the world. I mean, the LeBron James of the world, who people want to say started this nonsense. You know, with the big three, with the assembling of the big three. But again, if people are being honest, with that mere fact of the matter, I mean, people could argue the simple fact of the matter saying that the Boston Celtics had done it before that, no? With Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and the X Factor at the point in time, Rondo. People could say at that point in time it was done then. So I mean, hey, I was at that particular point in time when LeBron James decided to join forces. I was a LeBron James fan at that time. I was somebody that was caught up in all the smoke. I was somebody that wanted to see this cat succeed. And because of the mere fact of the matter that I'd spent so many years backing Michael Jordan, I realized this young kid wasn't a Michael Jordan, but I thought that it was somebody you could get behind. And I was too young at that point in time to realize that there's a possibility that there could be some propaganda behind everything. So I believed in all the hocus pocus. I believed that he was the individual that got the Cleveland Cavaliers as far as he got them. And I truly believe, honestly speaking, if they never started to compare him to who I consider to be the GOAT, I might still be sitting blinded. It's a comparison that opened my eyes. It's a comparison that made me start to take a second look and a second glance at everything. It's a comparison that started to make me say, wait a second. He's an individual that'd be much quicker to pass up the game-winning shot than actually try and take it himself. Which was not something I was very used to coming from the Michael Jordan era. But if they never struck up that argument of trying to compare LeBron James to a Michael Jordan, because I was one of the people that always said, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, I'm sorry, could not or would not ever be able to do what Michael Jordan has done, which is, like I said, win 6 championships, blase, 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 win 3, take some time off, come back and win 3 more. I shouted off from the mountaintop, but I also said in the same breath that Michael Jordan would not have been able to do what LeBron James had accomplished. You know, going to Miami, being able to get to championships there, being able to bring Cleveland teams to championships before he went to Miami, going back to Cleveland, bringing them to a championship, you know, changing different teams is what I was trying to say. So it's not to say that I don't recognize exactly what LeBron James had to offer to the league. And if mainstream media had just left it at that, he still would have been up there on a lot of our lists. It's when they start to compare. It's when they start to have the audacity to compare. That's where we drew the line in the sand. That's when we start to figure this is getting a little bit ridiculous now. Somebody has to be able to take a stance on this nonsense. Somebody has to be able to call a spade a spade. And this is where we're at right now. I'm going to continue to say it. The fact of the matter that the NBA right now is seems to be losing viewership. It's because you're turning people like myself away from the sport. You think it's a new school generation that's running home for a 7 or 8 o'clock game? You think it's a new school generation that is giving you guys the time of day. Even when they are home. You think it's a new school generation that's doing that? You underestimate what us old school cats have to offer to your viewership. You underestimate us. You take us for granted. You see, it's guys like myself that were the 14, 15, and 16-year-olds that were keeping an eye on the time because the Chicago Bulls were playing against the Detroit Pistons. I'd call it, what, I don't know, 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. on a Sunday evening. So no matter what we're doing outside, wherever we are, we're playing basketball, whatever we're doing, we are making sure we're home, inside, with whatever has to be done, so we're sitting in front of the TV to watch that game. That's what we're doing. And we're actually watching it. The new generation right now, even if they're home and the game's on TV, don't forget, they have this device called the phone right now, where that occupies at least, what would you say, 80% of the new generation's time and space? So how much attention do you think they're really actually giving to that sport that these guys are running up and down and scoring 300 points in? So once again, how good are these changes that you guys take it upon yourself to make? How good are they actually? It's just a question. And like I said, you know, when I'm talking as a fan. That's what I've been a good part of my life. I've been a fan of your sport. Now I watch it for entertainment. I'm becoming a fan of the WNBA. Why? Because I saw the direction it went in last season, and I see what's coming up ahead, up the pipeline. The Jujus. The Juju Watkins. Somebody just has to take a deep look into exactly what's going on in the NBA and make some drastic changes. Because for the first time in my life, I can honestly tell you, it's taking a negative turn. And as far as I'm concerned, the future doesn't look much brighter where that's concerned. I want you guys to share. I need you guys to like. And don't be shy. Hit those subscribe buttons. Help this channel grow. 2025. Double the Innocence. This is our year, man. Plan to bring some interesting content. And like I said, everything I'm coming to you at, I'm coming to you with my perspective, my personal point of view. We're all opinions out here. Every opinion matters. Every opinion counts. So because of the mere fact of the matter that LeBron James is not the greatest thing to me, but I've let you guys know what I think about him as an individual to the sport. I let you guys know I was once a fan of LeBron James. So I'm not coming to you blinded. I'm not coming to you as somebody that's just hating. No. I'm letting you guys know exactly where the taste in my mouth got sour where LeBron James is concerned. I'm letting you guys know that regardless of anything, he's a specific individual that has a lot to do with the mere fact of the matter that the viewership is going down. Whether you want to assume that responsibility or not. Because I'm letting you guys know directly, that whole clutch ports thing is not a good thing. It's not something that's helping the NBA out whatsoever. For one individual to have as much control as he's had, for one individual to be able to play for as many head coaches as he's played for, that lets you know they can brainwash you and make you guys think that, oh yeah, you know, the in-tournament, beautiful courts, the changing of all the uniforms and all that kind of stuff, that they're on a rise. But like I said, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Double Innocence with your boy E-Dub is out. Have yourself a blessed day, people.